So, the Tour de France is kicking off once again in 2023. It starts on July 1st and it takes place over essentially the whole of the month, lasting up until July 23rd. I know when I first started cycling or following cycling in any capacity, I had absolutely no idea what was going on in the Tour. It was clear that these dudes were cranking out massive miles each day, but I had absolutely no idea that there were teams involved or what the heck general classification meant or was or anything along those lines. So I'm here today to give you all the quick and dirty of the Tour de France, essentially a Tour de France for dummies, if you will. The Tour has a total race distance of around 2,115 miles. That is 3,404 kilometers for all my overseas friends out there. There are 22 different professional cycling teams participating in the Tour de France. The way to identify these different teams is by their matchy-matchy jerseys, their matchy-matchy bibs, bikes, helmets, and all their equipment. Really, it looks the same, so you can see when they're all lined up together. That's obviously a team. Now, there are 8 riders on each one of those teams, and that makes up 176 total riders taking part in the Tour de France. Well, this is all one massive race. Of course, these fellows aren't riding their bike for the whole duration of 1 month at a time. The race itself is split up into 21 different days of racing, which we call stages. Riders end up averaging over 100 miles for each stage, and there's only 2 rest days. These rest days this year are going to take place on July 10th and July 17th, so there will be no racing on those days. Those days are often used to travel from one start point or end point to the next start point. Each of these stages has a stage winner, which is the first person to cross the finish line, which is pretty intuitive. But that does not mean that that individual rider will be the overall winner of the Tour de France. The overall Tour de France winner is the rider that has the lowest elapsed time over all 21 stages combined. Now, I know that's complicated, and as if it couldn't get any more complicated, there's a bunch of different colorful jerseys that we need to define and discuss. The overall fastest rider that I just talked about and the winner of the overall 21 stages and Tour de France itself will be wearing the yellow jersey at the end of the total tour. Now, throughout the process, whoever is wearing the yellow jersey that particular day is the current virtual leader of the Tour de France in terms of general classification or overall elapsed time. Moving on to the green jersey. The green jersey is awarded to a particular rider with points going to this rider throughout the different stages at intermediate sprint points and quite often at some of the finishes on these 21 stages. Whoever accumulates the most sprint points throughout the Tour de France and the overall race itself will be deemed the green jersey wearer at the end of the tour, and they will take it home with them to frame on their wall. In a similar fashion, the Polka Dot Jersey, or King of the Mountain jersey, is awarded to an individual rider who accumulates points atop all of the largest mountains within the different stages of the Tour de France. Very similar to the green jersey, these points are awarded to an individual rider at intermediate points throughout each stage, and sometimes at the finish if it's a mountaintop finish. Lastly, we have the white jersey, and this goes to the best baby of the bunch, which actually means it goes to the best rider under 26 years old, and lately that white jersey has also been going to the owner of the yellow jersey. So what can you say? Youth, man. So that's the quick and dirty on the Tour de France. Tell me down below, who do you think is going to get the dub this year? Who are you most excited to watch? What stage are you most excited to watch? I personally am a big fan of all the different TTs. Really excited to watch that and see some fireworks this year. If you want to catch some non-tour related bike racing, maybe check out this bike race right here. And if that doesn't suit your fancy, maybe check out this cycling vlog right here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again soon.